You got a few people out here that's saying this is fake news, saying they looked for it and they couldn't find it. This is on Ream Magazine's website. This is on all their websites. This is on their Instagram. This is on their X. This is on their Facebook. This got sent to me. So, with that being said, Subio Matias may be in trouble because it appears that they found Ostarine in his system. I know he got framed. Hey, I know. Let me guess. Victor Conti set him up. Let me guess. Bill Haney set him up. Let me guess. Somebody named Scooter. Let me guess. It was Oswaganda. Let me guess. He fell on the floor and it happened to be PEDs and his hand landed in the PEDs and that's how I got in this system. I'm just like, man, what the hell is going on here? And it was funny. Somebody said in the comments section, and I didn't pay it no mind. He say, man, I wouldn't be surprised if dude was on something. Now it looks as if he's on something. Now he has 10 days to request his B samples. If he chooses not to, then he's gonna get in trouble. But then again, the WBC so ass backwards, they may allow him to fight. They're saying that the fight is in jeopardy. So with that being said, Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz could, worst case scenario, be elevated. And it'll be a championship match. But you never know. Because Ryan Garcia is coming off a loss and a no contest. And somehow he getting the fight for a belt. I mean, make it make sense. And, you know, I just want to see a lot of these fighters have the same energy for him. But we all know that a lot of these boxers conspired against Devin Haney and stuff, trying to dismiss the fact that Ryan Garcia is a steroid cheat. And he's a PED cheat. He cheated, and that's the bottom line. And you can sit up here and talk about, oh, Devin should avoid. Like, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that, because I promise you, had that been the other way around, they would be calling for Devin Haney's head. But the fact that you just got a lot of, you know, Sambos on here and a lot of coons that won't stay on code, who wanna be celebrated by a lot of a group of people in which they. So I just find that amazing. But it doesn't surprise me, and there will be others. I can't wait to hear his explanation of how that got in his system. But then again, they gave Jaime Munguia a pass. I guess as long as they get those sanctioning fees right, or they have a popular boxer representing their belt, I guess they don't give a shit who uses PEDs or not. But this isn't a good look. And we got to stop dismissing this kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, I heard Tim Bradley talk about, I beat fighters that was on PEDs that took PEDs. I mean, so you say, but let me ask you this, Tim. What if you would have lost? At the end of the day, they give you an advantage. To sit up here and dismiss the fact that they don't give you an advantage is just crazy. Because if they don't give you a advantage, then why are they banned? Why are they listed under performance enhancing? It's oxymoron. It explains itself. It writes itself. It's just stupid to sit up here and say that. All it comes down to is just a lot of these black fighters, they just coons and Uncle Toms and house niggas who don't stand for nothing. Who be worried about their bottom line. are worried about if they're going to get a gig again. So that's what it all come down to. So since I'm live, I'm going to talk about some other stuff. Now, as you guys know, I did a video about this. Anthony Joshua will be facing Jake Paul on December 19th. But he wasn't really their first choice. Rumor has it, and I'm going to say this is just a rumor. I'm going to say allegedly. I have to, protect the channel. So allegedly that they went with Bud, and Bud accepted, according to reports, that Bud was going to accept the fight. But Bud basically told him that no, I'm not going to carry you. I'm not going to make it look like I'm not going to carry you. I'm not going to do the Jack Rousseau. And then basically you heard the same thing was offered to Andre Ward. Like, hey, you can get the fight with Jake Paul, but certain things got to happen. And they can sit up there and say, oh, we're going to sue people and all that kind of stuff. And, well, here's the thing. You're going to sue thousands of, you're going to sue thousands and thousands of content creators. Really? You mean tell me you're going to sue thousands of content creators? And then what happens if one of these content creators call your bluff and they file a countersuit against you, asking you to prove that these fights are not scripted? And then what if they, and then what if the feds get involved? You sure you want that to happen? And what if they start questioning some of these past opponents? What if they call them to take the stand, and they have to testify under oath? And I'm telling you now, they not gonna perjure themselves and go to jail. You already know they gonna drop dimes for real. They gonna drop dimes like how some of them dudes drop them dollars at the strip club. I'll promise you that. So I'm just saying they might want to fall back on that. They might want to just be quiet about that. You seen what happened with that dude that Kendra G tried to sue. She dropped the lawsuit for now because she was scared that dude was gonna countersue her. And then the lawsuit was bogus anyway to begin with. So I'm just saying, this is just some of the things I heard behind the scenes and stuff. That Bud and Andre Ward wasn't willing to follow a script. Now, I don't know what's going to become of Anthony Joshua, and I saw 7-8's video, and I agree with 7-8 wholeheartedly. I agree with a lot of people that's been putting out content and talking about this Anthony Joshua fight. And if Anthony Joshua, and it's real talk, if Anthony Joshua loses to Jake Paul, like I said, his whole career goes down the drain. Anthony Joshua really ain't hurt for money. Anthony Joshua then made anywhere from $150 to $200 million in fight purses. So why would you take 50 million or whatever the case gonna be to lay down for listen, like I said before, there is no other scenario than Jake Paul getting his lights put out. I don't want to hear nothing about Anthony Joshua ain't who he used to be. Anthony Joshua is a shell of himself. Anthony Joshua he been knocked out by credible boxers. Okay? they still should be enough of Anthony Joshua to be able to go in there and come on and mollywop Jake Paul. This fight, like I said, should last 3 rounds. I'm just telling the truth. This fight shouldn't last 3 rounds. Because I mean, you gotta just keep it 100. I'm not finna be one of these dudes that's finna sit up here and say, "Oh, this is gonna be exciting. I'm excited about this fight. This is gonna be intriguing." See, Terrence Crawford versus Canelo was intriguing until we actually saw the fight and we saw how pretty much one-sided that fight was. Are you ready to feel the Mexican power, Terrence? Yeah, obviously he wasn't, but we know Canelo felt Terrence Crawford's black power all night, especially when he was getting hit with the Kendrick Lamar from the Peekaboo song. He was getting hit with the boom, bop, bing, boom, bop, bam, peekaboo, peekaboo. So, you know. So, I'm going to say this again. There ain't no other scenario with Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua other than Anthony Joshua laying Jake Paul the fuck out. I don't give a damn about MVP. What they gonna do? They gonna ban me? So, like I've been not been banned before. Fine. What, their feelings gonna be hurt? I mean, the dude talked about, well, you know, fixing fights. That's a federal offense. Fixing fights? UFC ain't they been getting investigated about fixing fights? So let's not try to pretend that the shit don't happen. So like, oh, people are accusing us. Yeah, we know the law, dude. That don't mean that you that don't mean that you go follow it. So Anthony Joshua better go in there and make Jake Paul a meme. He better make him a meme. He better make him a thumbnail. All I want to see is Jake Paul sleep. There ain't no, like I said, there ain't no way that Jake Paul should be able to do anything with a fighter the likes of Anthony Joshua. So I expect this fight to end in 3 rounds. Brutal. When I say brutal Anthony Joshua knockout, I mean, you seen what he did to Francis Ngannou. He got rid of him in 2 rounds. Slept him. As you know. Don't sit up here trying to insult my intelligence, trying to make it look like this fight gonna be interesting. There ain't no other fucking scenario than an Anthony Joshua knockout. And I know some people trying to pander to this and trying to sell this as a credible fight. Like, man, if y'all don't sit y'all asses down, who the hell you think you talking to? Ain't nobody sitting behind a computer finna tell me that this fight is gonna be competitive. Now, Turkey is involved, so you know, at the end of the day, I'm thinking that Turkey gonna do the right thing. Nah, they not going. Well, we got to see. At this point, I don't trust. At this point, I don't trust Mauricio Sullivan. Mauricio Sullivan is consistent at being inconsistent. Ask yourself this: how in the hell Ryan Garcia get a title shot? Get a title shot coming off a loss where he got his ass handed to him. And the thing is, Mauricio Sullivan, he dodges this type of media, and he's going to make himself unavailable up into the fight. Now, I may go to the, depending on where it is, I may go to the press conference. I may go to LA to the press conference. Now, from what I've been told, the fight is going to take place in Las Vegas. The fight is supposed to take place in Las Vegas. It's going to take place at either the Michelob Ultra Arena or it's going to take place at the MGM Grand. So I heard it was going to take place in Las Vegas. Now, from what I've been told, that the Zone is going to get the broadcasting rights. That it's going to be featured on the Zone. Now, who do I think gonna win that fight? Well, we'll just have to see. I mean, Barrio should be able to win this fight, but you never know. Now, the winner of this fight, in all likelihood, get the winner of Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. Hell yeah. Anthony Joshua better, whatever script they hand him, throw it in the gun. Well, I mean, if he don't follow, what they gonna do to him? What they gonna do to him? Like, what they gonna do to him? So this fight better not last. I'm being completely honest. This fight better not last no longer than 3 rounds. I'm going to be disappointed if it goes for. Anthony Joshua needs to brutally lay Jake Paul out and put an end to this. I mean, like, let's be realistic here. Look at Jake Paul's skill set and then look at Anthony Joshua's skill set. I mean, come on, man. I mean, Jake Paul, to a certain degree, he still fight like an amateur. He still make that mistake that amateur boxers make, or dudes that don't have that experience, where you move, where basically you step when you throwing a punch, you don't plant your feet, you move your feet as you throwing a punch, and a seasoned fighter can see that coming a mile away. It is so much that go into boxing, because that's what, you know, when I be boxing, that's what all the coaches tell me to do. Set my feet, turn the shoulder. And Jake Paul still make that mistake. So you mean to tell me that amateur stuff he doing is going to be enough to get past Anthony Joshua, a 3-time world champion, a future Hall of Famer, unless he loses this fight. And if Anthony Joshua loses this fight, he shouldn't go to the Hall of Fame. This ain't a 58-year-old Mike Tyson we talking about. We talking about a 36-year-old Anthony Joshua. He should have plenty in the tank to get rid of Jake Paul. So no, not buying what he's selling. All you got, go look at Jake Paul training. Go look at him training. He's still do that. He still do amateur stuff. And this is why I'm trying to explain to y'all why he don't have a chance in hell against Anthony Joshua. He don't have a chance in hell. He has no chance of winning that fight Now I know that a lot of these box channels gonna be disingenuous. They're gonna lie to you. They're gonna try to say, "Oh, I can see a scenario where no, fuck no." I'm not gonna sit up here and insult y'all's intelligence like that because I don't want to lose y'all respect. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, "Oh well, something's no." I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. I'm not playing along with this. I'm not following a script of boxing media that's gonna tell my audience that Jake Paul got somewhat of a he has no fucking chance. He has no fucking chance to win this fight. None. He has no chance. Come on, dude, shit. Somebody got to keep it real. I know it's going to be other boxing channels that's going to say, well, you know, if you look at what did happen to Anthony Joshua with Daniel Dubois and Andy Louis, yeah. They are trained, seasoned boxers. They're heavyweights. I gotta say it. If all these other boxing channels go try to sit up here and tell you a lie, sell you a lie, then you should question their integrity. I'm not putting my integrity on the line, and I'm not finna lose the respect of my audience by sitting up here lying to y'all saying that Jake Paul might actually have a shot. He don't have a snowball's chance in hell. He don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning that fight. And when I see Eddie Hearn, I'm going to tell Eddie Hearn straight to his face, if Anthony Joshua does something weird in that fight, you should cut ties with him. Anthony Joshua should lose all credibility. If he fuck around and lose that fight, he should lose. Nobody should respect him. So stop the cap. Stop the cap. And y'all can go on any channel you want and you can tell them that I said it. If y'all sitting up there, you can go to any channel. You go to any channel that'll try to sit up there and try to tell y'all that Jake Paul got a chance in this fight. You can tell them that I said they a motherfucking lie. And tell them to stop it. Don't compromise your channel to get views from casuals. I'm not saying Jake Paul ain't got a snowball's chance winning that fight. He gonna get his likes put out. Why you think him and that dude building a roster now? Why you think they signed all these fighters so they can continue promoting? The fact that Anthony Joshua agreed to 8 3-minute rounds. So what is Jake Paul gonna do? He gonna run. What is Jake Paul gonna do? He gonna run around. The first time Anthony Joshua jabbed him, he gonna be shaking. This is a dude that is 6'6", and that weight class that he can't come in no bigger than 245. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. And that's still not gonna save Jake Paul's ass. People gotta people gotta stop sitting up here lying. People gotta stop like cosplaying like and trying to gaslight these casuals like this like this fight is gonna actually be intriguing, like it's gonna have some drama to it. In 1974, not 2004 and not 2014. I've been watching boxing for over 40 years. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I done covered over 30 fights. They traveled all over the country to cover fights. I done been in the gyms. There is no, when I tell you, I done seen Jake Paul fight. We all done seen Jake Paul fight. You really think the way Jake Paul fight that he could do anything with somebody like Arthur Beterbiev or David Benavidez? And the only reason why they fought, they consider fighting Jake because of his height, because he's small. You mean, like I said, you really trying to convince me? I'm telling you, the first time, Anthony Joshua might could knock Jake Paul out with a hard jab. Get surprised that Jake Paul pull out. I wouldn't be surprised if he pull out of this fight with like a week left. Because I think reality is gonna sink in. Because if you basing you getting in the ring with him based off what you saw with Daniel Dubois, then you already showing me that you're not very smart. And you're not smart as you want people to think you are. This fight better not go no longer than 3 rounds. Nah. I don't even think Shakur really was like training. I think that was just like a little flex on Tank and all that kind of stuff. I don't even really believe that Shakur was like really doing anything. And I'm just gonna tell you, Jake Paul is who he is. If you think that Jake Paul is gonna start fighting like Riddick Bowe or somebody like that, then you're sadly mistaken. I think this is the best you're gonna ever see. And that's not saying much. That's why I keep trying to tell you, the worst version of Anthony Joshua is gonna lay Jake Paul out. Anthony Joshua know that his legacy is on the line, his reputation is on the line, like everything he stands for. And at the end of the day, I don't like how Anthony Joshua did with Deontay Wilder. I don't like how they handled the Deontay Wilder situation, but at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is still a black man. And I'm going to be on code. And don't give me that shit about, well, Jake Paul is American. Jake Paul called Charlie Kirk a hero. So that should tell you all you need to know about him. And I did my research on Charlie Kirk. So if you support Charlie Kirk, he a hero, that make me really question you. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it. I'm just keeping it 100. It ain't no way. I mean, I figure like this. When Andre Ward fought Sergey Kovalov, Andre Ward is an American fighter, and they was rooting for Sergey Kovalov. Most of the Mexicans and the whites and the non-blacks that wasn't from the Bay Area, they was rooting for Sergey Kovalov. So you can say that patriotism shit. And they did the same thing with Devin Haney when he fought Lomachenko. So you can say that patriotism stuff. I was at that fight. A lot of them people, like a lot of those non-blacks and those Latinos, they were rooting for Lomachenko. So that's why I keep telling you that black and brown alliance is pure bullshit. Yeah, said it. So yeah, I'm rooting for AJ. I'm rooting for the guy from London that has Nigerian roots. Yep. I'm rooting for Anthony Joshua. So Anthony Joshua come a few short weeks from now, he better go in there and take care of business. He better make Jake Paul for real. Jake Paul better be a thumbnail. I want to see, when I say I want to see Jake Paul laid out, I want to see Jake Paul laid out. So, like I said, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to my audience and say, oh, you should tune in because there could be some surprises in this fight. No, there ain't gonna be no surprises. There ain't gonna be no surprises. See, they thought, hey, and it would be funny if, you know what I'm saying, if allegedly, if there's a script that Anthony Joshua double crosses them. But they saying Turkey is involved, so I'm gonna keep a close eye. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, I'm not going to the fight, but I will tune in, December 19th. And it was funny. I was talking to my boss, and then I was talking to the advisor. So they was asked, because they in the box. So my boss, he was like, he said it's coming on Netflix. He said it's on a Friday. He said, if y'all want to leave at 3:00, I'll make some arrangements for y'all to leave because I get off of work at 3:30. So I was like, nah. I will be home in time to see the main event. They haven't even said who's gonna be on the undercard. Well, what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. They was rooting for Lomachenko. The Latinos was rooting for Lomachenko. Most of them was. So, and then when Devin Haney wins a close fight, then they talking about it was a robbery. But Devin Haney allegedly broke one of Lomachenko's ribs, but they say Devin Haney can't punch. He sent Lomachenko to the hospital. He busted Lomachenko's face up. The only reason why people... Well, I'm gonna tell you now that's not gonna happen. I think Anthony Joshua know what's at stake, and I hope he would be smart enough not to compromise his career for Jake Paul. But we'll see. Anyway, appreciate you guys being here. I'm out.